Good morning students. Welcome in this class. This video is for class 8 subject Social Science. It is the fourth lecture of History chapter 4 Tribal, the Coast and the Vision of a Golden Age. Actually, today's lecture is related to the summary of the chapter. So in today's lecture, the topics which are be summarized or recalled are like these. First one, meaning of tribal and the coast. Second, how did tribal groups live? Third, how did colonial rule, means British rule, affect tribal lives? The search for work, the problem with trade, the Munda revolt and the conclusion of the chapter. So let's we start today's discussion. Yes friends, our chapter is started from the word tribals and the coast. Yes friends, as we know that the people, those who are living in the forest, okay, means those who live in the forest and completely dependent on the forest for their livelihood are known as tribal people. And the coast word, in this chapter, the coast word is used for the foreigners, means from outsiders, those who were outsider from the tribal communities. And here especially the outsider word is used for the Britishers. Okay, means Britishers were the foreigner or they were the outsider from the tribal communities. Yes friends, as we know or we have studied that before the arrival of the Britishers, the tribal communities lived in the forest and had led a happy life. Means they lived an independent life. They completely dependent on the forest and they had their own that culture, traditions, rituals. Okay. So, but when the Britishers came in India, so they made many new policies, new rules and regulations. Okay, and these rules and regulations had very bad impact on the independent life of the tribal communities. So these tribal people saw this outsider or the foreigner means as the cause of their misery and they wanted to drive out these Britishers, these moneylenders, means all outsiders from their forest land, and for that they started many revolt also. Okay, so students, in this way actually our chapter is related to different tribal communities, those who were living in India and their struggle against British. Understood? Yes. Now our next topic, how did tribal groups live? Yes friends, now we will discuss before the arrival of the before the arrival of the British, how did tribal groups live? Yes friends, by the 19th century, tribal people in different parts of India were involved in a variety of activities such as subsistence farming, hunting, herding and collection of forest products, settled cultivation. Yes friends, as I told in previous lectures also, means before the arrival of the Britishers, the main activities in which tribal communities were involved, that was jhum cultivation or subsistence farming. Means they cultivate a small patch of land or that grew crops to fulfill the needs of his family members. Okay, and in this way they practiced shifting cultivation. Understood? Second is their hunting activities, means some tribal groups were hunters and gatherers. Next one is herding and collection of forest product, means some tribal communities that they reared cattle and collected forest product. But after passes sometimes some tribal communities that means they give up this nomadic life and started to live a settled life by doing settled cultivation. Understood? Yes, now we will have a discussion on this activities in detail. Yes, friends, the first activities in which tribal communities were involved, these were jhum cultivation. Means some tribal people were jhum cultivators. Jhum cultivation, that is shifting cultivation, was done on small patches of land, mostly in forest. Means the other name of jhum cultivation is shifting cultivation. And what was it? Actually, under this cultivation, a small patch of forest land was cleared by the tribal communities. The cultivator cut the tree tops to allow sunlight to reach ground and burnt the vegetation on the land to clear it for cultivation. Got it? Means under this system, these tribal people cut the tree tops, okay, and burnt this vegetation, and the ash of these burnt vegetations and tree was used as manures. Means they did not use any fertilizer, they didn't use plow for cultivation, they didn't grow seeds, they just scattered the seed. Understood? So once the crop was ready and harvested, they moved to the another field and left that field fallow for several years. Understood? So means I told that they didn't use any fertilizer, they didn't plow the field, they didn't grow the seeds, means they just scattered the seeds on a patch of forest land. So after some times, this patch of land lost its fertility. So when this land loses its fertility, then these people shifted to the another part of land, means they cleared another part of forest land, okay, and used that part for cultivation. So this type of cultivation is considered to be primitive. Yes friends, in our previous chapter, okay, agriculture, we have discussed about primitive and commercial farming. Means primitive is mainly you can say the farming which is done by the tribal communities, nomadic people. Okay, now the second activities, that some were hunters and gatherers. Yes students, means some communities were there, those who involved in the activities of hunting and gathering, okay, and in which Khonds tribal communities, those who lived in Odisha. Okay, so these Khonds, those who lived in Odisha, they were hunter and gatherer. Okay, means they hunt the animals and they gather the forest products. They use many forest shrubs, herbs, okay, for medical purpose and sold forest produce in the local market. Means and some things there, those which they got from the forest, okay, and these products like shrubs and herbs, they sold in the local market also and earn money. Baigas, yes friends, who were these Baigas? Listen carefully. Actually Baigas was also a tribal communities, those who were living in central India. These Baigas communities, they were reluctant, means they reluctant to do work for other. What does it mean? Reluctant means against, means these Baigas communities wanted to live independent life, okay, and they were against to do work for others, means they didn't like to do labor work or on the work on wages, okay, means they just wanted to live independent life in forest. Tribal groups often needed to buy and sell in order to be able to get the goods that they were not produced within the locality. So this led to their dependence on trader and moneylenders. Yes friends, as I told ki for many things they completely dependent on the forest, but some things which they didn't get from the forest, so for that they dependent on the market, means these things they purchased from the local market, okay, and for that they needed money, and for that they depend on traders and money lenders. Who were these money lenders? Actually the students, money lenders were the people those who gave money to the other people on interest, okay, and tribal were mainly dependent on barter system. The third activity means first, they got the things from the forest. Second, the things which they didn't get from the forest, they purchased from the market. And third things, that some things they were exchanged to each other. Barter system is in which things are exchanged. Okay, means these tribal communities, jhum cultivators, hunter and gatherers, okay, and means those who herd the animals. So all these communities that they exchange the things among each other, and this is known as barter system. Now the third activity is some herded animals. Yes friends, some tribal communities means they reared cattle. Okay, and they gathered forest produce, and they were known as, or means they were pastoralists. Yes friends, pastoralists were the people, those who moved from one place to another with their group of animals. Okay, and in which there, who herded animals? I told you beta that many tribal communities involved in different activities. Okay, so the one Gujjar of Punjab and Labadis of Andhra Pradesh, okay, Gadis of Kullu, Bakrawals of Kashmir, okay, all these communities, they were cattle herders, means they reared cattle. So you must know about it. If it is asked that name some communities, those who were involved in that herded animals. So who were these? One Gujjar of Punjab, Labadis of Andhra Pradesh, Gadis of Kullu and Bakrawals of Kashmir. So these tribal communities were cattle herded. Understood? Yes, later by British law grazing on forest land was stopped and it became the reason for discontent for tribal. Yes friends, before the arrival of the British, so these people, those who herded animal, they were free, or means they allowed to allow their cattle for grazing in this forest freely. But after the arrival of the Britishers, now British government banned, okay, banned for means grazing, or to allow the animals for grazing in this forest. Okay, so in this way, means this was the reason of the discontent for the tribals. Means now tribal communities, that means they became against the Britishers. Now next one is there, some took to settled cultivation. Yes friends, so means after passes the time, some tribal communities there, those who you can say gave up this nomadic life. Okay, and they started to live a settled life. For that they started to live in a permanent place. They started to cultivate a particular part of land. Okay, yes, many tribal groups had begun to settle down instead of moving from place to place. Okay, they began to use the plow and gradually got rights over the land they lived on. Yes friends, as I told that in the starting that these tribal communities practiced shifting cultivation. Okay, they didn't use the plow for cultivation of field. Okay, they didn't grow the seed, they didn't use any manures, but when they started to settle cultivation, they started to use plow also. Now they started to show the seeds also. Understood? Means now they started to live settled life, and in which those who started to settle life, in which one main communities was there, that was Munda community. Munda communities, and where they lived in present Jharkhand area. So few tribes such as Mundas considered the clan right over land and assumed the land to be belong to the whole clan. Means they had the ownership of the land. Okay, and they used only that particular part of land for cultivation. So the extraction of huge revenue was also done from the tribals, and in case of non-payment of revenue, their lands were taken away and it became the reason of discord. Okay, as I told that the British government imposed taxes on everything. Means they imposed taxes on forest land also. Now for the means tribal people, those who had a particular part of land for cultivations, now they had to pay taxes for that, and when they are unable to pay these taxes, so their land were taken away. Okay, now what happened to the tribal chief? Yes friends, tribal chief means the leader of tribal communities. Okay, before the arrival of the British, the each you can see tribal communities had a leader who is known as tribal chief, and this tribal chief had enjoyed a lot of power. Like he had economic power, he had administration power, he had the power to make rules and regulation for the people of his territories. Okay, means he made rules and regulations for the people, and the tribal people had to follow these rules. But under British rule, the functions and the powers of the tribal chiefs changed, as they were allowed to keep their land title but lost their administrative rights and were forced to follow law made by the British official in India. But under the British rules, the power of the tribal chief also got changed. How? Means now the real power, administration power, economic power. Okay, means earlier tribal chief had the power to collect taxes. He had the power to make rules and regulation, but now this power was taken by the Britishers. Now Britishers collected the taxes from these. Okay, they made rules and regulations. Means now the tribal chief was only nominal head. Okay, means he just had the land title on the name title, but in the reality the administrative right or economic rights were in the hand of the British government. Rules made by British to cover the entitlement and the power to administer the forest area. So miss, here question is there, how did the power of the tribal people get changed under British rule? So this is the answer. Okay, now our next topic, what happened to the shifting cultivators? Yes friends, many times we have studied that the main occupations of the tribal communities was shifting cultivations. Okay, so now British were uncomfortable with the shifting cultivators as it was more easy to control a settled group. Yes friends, as we know that the main aim of the British government is to earn more and more profit. For that they impose taxes also. But it was very difficult, or means not easy to collect the people collect the taxes from the jhum cultivators. Why? Actually, as I told that they practice shifting cultivations, they live nomadic lives. So means after some times that they changed the places, they moved from one place to another. So in this way it was not easy to collect taxes from this jhum cultivators. So now British government decided to start settled cultivations. Okay, means they, because they wanted to regular revenue source for the state, and for that what did they do? They introduced land settlement. What is land settlement? Means land settlement means they decided to give a particular part of land to a particular you can say family. Means they had the ownership on a particular part of land. They was just allowed to cultivate only that part. Means now they were not free to cultivate any patch of land. Okay, so the part of land which they were using, for that they had to pay taxes also. Understood? But in which way actually this system was not beneficial? Okay, because some farmer got the land which was infertile. So in which way? Means their land didn't get enough productions, and in this way they were not able to pay taxes. So what did they do? So the tribal communities started protest against these unjust laws and policies. So when British government faced widespread protest in many parts, so they had to allow them the right to carry on shifting cultivation in only some parts. And in most of the central part, shifting cultivation was prohibited and lands were assigned to do the cultivation. Got it? Now, that is their forest laws and their impact. Yes friends, British government made many new laws related to the forest land. So what were these forest laws and what were their impact on the tribal society? The life of the tribal groups was directly connected to the forest. The British extended their control over all forest and declared them as state property. Means earlier the tribal communities had right on the forest or forest product. Okay, but now British government made new law, and according to that some forests were declared as state property. State property means government property. Means now only British had the right on this forest land, and the tribal people were not allowed to enter in this forest. Reserved forests were for producing timber, which was the British wanted, but for the purpose of cheap labor the forest villages were settled within the forest. What does it mean? Means the forest which were declared state property. And why did the British government do it? Actually they wanted timber. Timber was a good quality of wood which was used to make railway sleepers, furniture, or for many other things. Okay, so for this purpose they wanted labor class also for cutting trees, for clear land, and for carry the load of these logs of wood. So means in which in this way they allowed some people to live in the forest areas. Okay, because they wanted labor. So in this reserved forest people were not allowed to move freely or practice home cultivation. Already I told you about this. So this law impacted that varies survival of tribal, as they were mainly depend on the forest and in products, many tribal group reacted against the colonial forest law and rose in many open rebellion. So many tribal communities were not satisfied. They were against these rules and regulations. So they started react. Okay, they started to raise their voice against these laws. Okay, and so many revolts started in different parts of the country. Okay, now problem with the trade. Now, not only this problem, many other problems were also there, those tribal communities were facing, in which the other problem is there related to trade. Actually, in 19th century, the silk was in great demand in the market. Okay, so for that, the British officials came in the forest land. They started to force the tribal communities to grow silkworms, to rear cocoons. Okay, because they wanted silk, and for that they provided loan also to these tribal communities. Okay, so in this way, Santhal was a tribal communities of Hazaribagh. These communities reared cocoons. So the traders spent in their agent who gave loans to the tribal community. Sorry beta, here spent word is used, here sent will come. The traders sent, okay, their agents, those who gave loans to the tribal communities and collected the cocoons from these Santhal communities. And they purchased these cocoons from the tribal communities at very low price. Okay, means they just had to pay 2 or 3 rupees for thousands of cocoons, but they export, means they sold these cocoons to Burdwan and Gaya at 5 times more. So in this way, these British officials were getting a lot of profit, and again the tribal communities, means they were given very low wages and again exploited by the British government. Now the search for work. When the tribal communities, okay, means they were not getting any source of income, any work in the forests, they were thinking that their life is not possible in this forest land. They started to shift to the another part, started to shift in cities, means near the industries area or near the Assam tea garden of Assam, to get a job or work. Okay, so these tribals were recruited in large number to work for tea plantation, coal mines in Bihar through contractors on low wages and prevented them from returning them. But the people, those who were working in the tea garden of Assam, in coal mines of Bihar, means their condition was also not so good. Okay, actually they were paid very less for their work. Okay, means the contractor gave them very low wages, low salary. And once they started to work in these factories, in industries, they were not allowed to go back at their home, means, and prevented them from returning home. So in this way, their condition, means those who are working in industries and factories, their condition was also very worse, not good. Now, tribal groups rebelled in different parts of the country against the changes in law, restrictions on their practices, the new taxes they had to pay, and exploitation by traders and moneylenders. So, friends, in this way, means many people, those who were dissatisfied with this British rule or these policies, so they started to raise their voice against it, and many revolts were started. In which first is there the coal, means they raised their voice against this rule in 1831 to 1832. Santhal also started revolt in 1855. Munda's revolt, which was very famous, and it was started between 1895 to 1900, and Bastar revolt uprising in 1910. Okay, friends, now we will read about the Birsa Munda. Actually, Birsa was a person who belonged to Munda tribal community. Okay, and all the people of the Munda community, they gave a lot of respect to Birsa Munda. Actually, they considered him as God. They gave so much respect. They thought that Miss Birsa had magical power. He had the power to cure diseases. He had the power to multiply the grain. Okay, so they thought that the Munda gave up their freedom. Okay, gave up their freedom, or he became them free from the British rule. Okay, so that's why, and actually Birsa also wanted to regain their golden age. Yes, friends, actually the tribal communities or the Birsa Munda thought that before the arrival of the Britishers, the tribal communities had golden age. Golden age means happy time period, means they led a very happy life before the arrival of the Britishers, and now they wanted to regain this past. Okay, and for that they started a revolt against Britishers. Understood? So for that, Birsa urged the people of his community to give up drinking, to clean their villages, okay, and support him to get the freedom from the Britishers. Okay, so when the British government got this news, okay, then he arrested this British government arrested the Birsa Munda in 1895, and he was released in 1897, and again when he released, he toured again the village to gather support. He urged the people to destroy Ravana, means Dikus and the European, and established a kingdom under his leadership. But in 1900, Birsa died of cholera and the movement faded out. Means they didn't get completely success, because their leader Birsa was died in 1900. Understood, students? Yes. So in this way, our today's lecture or chapter is completed. In homework beta, you will get assignment, and for the assignment, visit on EdPark. Okay, then open that homework column in which you will get an assignment, and you have to solve this assignment in your fair notebook, and after completion it you have to send it to me on my email ID. Understood? Now we will have a discussion on the homework solution of our previous lecture 3, in which the question answer which were given to you solely, in which first is there, that is Phillips. The British described the tribal people as wild and savage, means uncivilized, and the method of sowing seed in jhum cultivation is known as broadcasting, scattering. Third, the tribal chief got which title? Land title in central India under the British land settlement, means they got only land titlement, and the other title, you can say economic power, administration power, were taken away. Understood? Tribals went to work in where? Tea plantation in Assam and coal mines in Bihar. Now second question related to true false. Jhum cultivators plow the land and sow the seed. No, it is false. Actually, I have told you also that they just scattered the seed. They didn't use any plow. They didn't cultivate the land. They didn't sow the seed. Cocoons were bought from Santhals. Santhal was a tribal communities, lived in Hazaribagh, and sold by traders 5 times the purchase price. Yes, means they bought that cocoons from the Santhal communities at very low price, means they just paid 2 to 3 rupees, okay, for thousands of cocoon, and they sold them in the market 5 times more. Birsa urged his followers to purify themselves, give up drinking liquor, and stop believing in witchcraft and sorcery. Yes, it is true. The British wanted to preserve the tribal way of life. No, it is false. Understood? Yes, now our next question. What accounts for the anger of tribal against the Dikus? Yes, friends, as we have studied in our chapter that many reasons were there that tribal people were anger against the Dikus or against the British. So what were these reasons? First was there the land policies. The policies, rules, regulations which were made by the British government, and these land policies of the British were destroying their traditional land system. As we know, before the Britishers, the tribal communities practiced shifting cultivation, and now British introduced land settlements. So in this way, this land policy of the British were destroying the traditional land system of the tribal communities. Hindu landlord and moneylender were taking over their land. That's why also they were angry. Missionaries means the people, those who spread their own religious teachings among other religious group. Okay, so means the British, means these missionaries, they spreading Christianity among the tribal communities. So means, and these missionaries were criticizing their traditional culture also. That's why these tribal communities were against or anger of the Coos or Britishers. Now last question. What was Birsa's vision of golden age? I told you, means before the arrival of the British, the tribal communities had an golden age, good time period. So why do you think such a vision appealed to the people of this region? Yes, Birsa started a movement against these British rules, and the main aim of his movement to reform or means reforming tribal society. For that, he urged the Mundas to give up drinking liquor, clean their village, and stop believing in witchcraft and sorcery. Birsa urged his followers to recover their glorious past. Okay, he talked of a golden age in the past, a Satya Yuga, the age of truth. Birsa also wanted people to once again work on their land, settle down and cultivate their field. Yes friends, so in this way our today's lecture is completed. Understood? Okay, so as I told that in homework you have to solve assignment and prepare for test also, which I will tell you later on when test will be conducted. Understood? So now tomorrow we will meet again with the next lecture. Thank you.